ScoutCrafter gave me this knife blade. It's a new old stock Ekco barbecue knife with a Waverly edge blade. Looks like it was $1.59 new. Ekco vanadium stainless, made in USA. Here's a close-up of the Waverly edge. ScoutCrafter's challenge to me was to add a handle. I made some handle shapes out of cardboard to better visualize my options. Which one would you have picked? I needed to open up the pinholes to fit the brass material I had on hand. Drilling the stainless didn't work, so I tried this diamond bit in my Dremel. The diamond bits ended up working well. I used the cone-shaped bit from both sides. Then I used this other bit to open up the hole a little bit more. I have a bunch of cherry molding left over from a kitchen cabinet project. I decided to use some for the handle. I used my table saw as a flat surface to sand off the finish. I also sanded one end all the way down to 320, since it would be tough to sand after gluing up. I traced the profile of the knife tang onto the wood. I cut along the lines with a razor knife. I sharpened the tip of a small screwdriver into a chisel. I used this to remove wood to a depth half the thickness of the tang. Here is both halves inletted. The tang fit well. I drilled the pinholes into one side at a time. By the way, that's red paint, not blood. The whole thing fit together pretty well. I scratched up the pins and the tang with coarse sandpaper before gluing. I used 30-minute cure clear epoxy. In my opinion, this is not a good application for the fast cure 5-minute epoxies. After the epoxy had fully cured overnight, I used a 40 grit belt in my 1x30 sander to first sand the pins flush. And then I roughed out the handle profile. Here's the handle roughed out. How do you like the shape I picked? I added some chamfers and bevels with the 40 grit belt before moving on to hand sanding. I started out with 60 grit to remove all the against the grain scratches I made with the belt sander. The coarse paper was also effective at rounding the chamfered edges. Here's the handle after 60 grit. I worked through the grits, 120, 220, and finally 320. And then some superfine steel wool. Progressing through the grits took some time, but the look and feel of the handle afterwards made it worth it. I finished the wood with Ekco Danish oil. After letting the Danish oil dry for a couple of days, I warmed the wood up with a hairdryer before applying a coat of axe wax. Chuck insisted that we go over the blade with flits. Well, what do you think? I think the handle came out pretty good. It feels comfortable in my hand. I had a lot of fun working on ScoutCrafter's Ekco Knife Challenge. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's test this Ekco vanadium stainless steel Waverly Edge out. Can it cut through this soda can? No problem. Will it still be sharp enough to slice this tomato paper thin? Look at that.